So what a game week 8 was. Plenty of goals to talk about, plenty of talking points, all of that coming up next. What's up guys, and welcome to JNO United, bringing the best in football news, entertainment and games. Today we're looking back at game week 8 here on the weekend recap. But before we get into the episode, make sure to subscribe if you're new around here, smash that thumbs up button for another great game week of Premier League football. Make sure to go and vote for me in the FBAs, links will be in the description down below. And in the comments down below, answer the question of the day: who do you think is going to win the game between Chelsea and Man United coming up this Sunday? Now we have a lot to talk about, but the first thing I'm going to look at about game week 8 was the Bournemouth versus Hull City game. Mike Phelan has just been given the job as Hull City manager, and his welcome to that job is an absolute thrashing by Bournemouth. Bournemouth have now recorded their biggest ever win in the Premier League with a 6-1 thrashing of Hull City. Hull City played very defensively, having 9 players defending, and still managed to concede 6 goals. In my eyes, Stanislas stood out as the star performer. His free kicks, his penalties and his link-up play, and play as a winger dribbling at the Hull City defence. All of it was spectacular. It was his free kick that hit the post and dropped to Charlie Daniels to finish, which got Bournemouth the lead. And then it was his free kick from out wide, whipped in to allow Cook to score a header to redeem himself after his deflection went past the Bournemouth goalkeeper. He then stepped up and took a very cool and casual penalty, blasting it straight down the middle and into the top of the net. And then he finished off a move which saw some great link-up play from Adam Smith and Joshua King on the right, coming in from the left and slotting home. To be fair though, Hull City's defence did look pretty poor considering they had so many men back. They were giving the Bournemouth players way too much space. Wilson was left open for his header, and the defending was just terrible. But what I would like to point out about this game is, as great as Bournemouth were, what did Jack Wilshere do? Now, I didn't watch the whole game, of course, I watched highlights, but I don't remember Jack Wilshere doing anything of note. Is he making the team better, or is he just a big name that Bournemouth have brought in on loan because of his name value of having been an Arsenal player? Moving on to the Arsenal-Swansea game, and so much for that solid Arsenal defence that everyone has been talking about recently. That being said, Swansea's defence was pretty shocking as well. Swansea like to believe they're a passing side, they like to play that kind of football, and they like to pass it out defence, but there's certain situations where you shouldn't pass it out defence, and that was why Theo Walcott scored his first goal. The defender, Jordi Amat, should have just hoofed that ball out. Even if it went out for a corner, he should have put his laces through it. Instead, he tried to control it with his knee, got the ball pinched off of him, and Theo Walcott scored. Second goal, and I personally think Jack Cork should have done better, getting more on that header, but again, it dropped to Theo Walcott, who put away his second goal. Now, both of those goals were very opportunistic goals for Theo Walcott, and you could tell later on in the game, Theo Walcott's finishing still isn't quite there yet. He had 2 great opportunities to score. One where Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain run down the right, crossed it into him, and he blasted it over. And another chance where it was brought to him in the box and he had a left-footed volley, had the whole goal to aim at, but managed to hit it straight at the keeper. Granit Xhaka also showed a moment where he should have just made a simple pass or hoofed it clear. Instead, he tried to skill pass Sigurdsson, who took the ball off of him and did a classic Sigurdsson shot from outside the box, curling it into the far post. And then later on, Xhaka tried even harder to try and lose Arsenal the game by getting sent off with a very cynical tackle when he knew Mo Barrow had got past him and was going to sprint down the wing. The thing is, there was some beautiful football from Arsenal though. The goal Ozil scored, the ball from Sanchez over the top to him, and the volley at the back post, both were sublime pieces of football. Great goal scored by Arsenal. Overall, I think Swansea maybe deserved to get back into the game 3-3 with all their pressure at the end, but Arsenal managed to get away with 3 points. Now, before we move on with the episode, again, another shout out to another channel. I just want to bring you guys' attention to Dave Azzopardi, friend of the channel who I've worked with for almost a year now, on and off consistently. And he is mainly a football manager content creator, but he is now doing football vlogs where he goes to Wolves games. Here's a clip for you guys to check out. Go check out his channel, make sure to subscribe and tell him I sent you.
What's going on guys, this is Dave. Welcome today to a new vlog. We're actually in London, as you could tell. We're going to be going to England versus Malta. which, as you guys know if you subscribe to the channel, I'm partly Maltese, so it's quite a big game for us. First time I've ever been to Wembley, first time I've ever been to an England game, first time I've ever been to a Malta game. So it should be pretty good. Score predictions, none of us know really, do we? Hoping for a Malta win, but we could see England walking over. So we're going over to Wembley now, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Now moving on to the Chelsea and Leicester City game. Chelsea managed to pick up a 2-0 victory against Leicester. Leicester are starting to look like a mid-table side at best now that they've lost Kante and haven't changed their formation to make up for the fact that they don't have Kante, who is like two players in that midfield. The players Leicester have brought into that squad don't seem to be adding anything of note to the team, which is maybe why Claudio Ranieri is relying on the certain players that he's used to playing with. Along with Slimani, Slimani has looked good, but the other players they brought in haven't really impressed yet. Diego Costa opened up the scoring when a corner was taken and everyone was drawn to the ball apart from Diego Costa at the back post. When the ball went through everyone, Diego Costa had a nice simple finish, nobody marking him, which is terrible marking from a set piece again from Leicester City. Robert Huth and Wes Morgan, perhaps they had the best season of their life last season and now they're not really going to cut it anymore. I suppose they didn't think they needed a defender, but maybe Leicester City did. Conte changed to a 3-4-3 system, which seemed to really benefit a lot of the players playing for Chelsea. Hazard looked really good in the 3-4-3 formation as well, getting the second goal when, after the ball pinged around a bit between defenders and Pedro, Hazard was put through, took it around Kasper Schmeichel and slotted home. Now I need to see this system against some of the bigger sides to see how successful it might be, but it definitely looks good against Leicester. I just, right now, can't see Leicester being one of the top sides anymore. And then finally we move to Sunday. I wish I could talk about the Liverpool-Man United game, but I really don't think it would be that interesting. So we're looking at the Southampton versus Burnley game. Tom Heaton keeps standing out as a great goalkeeper, even though Southampton won 3-1. Burnley held their own for a great portion of the game, until half-time in fact, but then two defensive errors by Burnley caused them to go 2-0 behind, allowing Austin a tap-in and Redmond a nice volley that he put home. Burnley did deserve a penalty though before both of those goals went in. When Gudmundsson got brought down by Van Dijk, it was a clear penalty, and for some reason Mike Dean, who's been given a lot of penalties recently, didn't give that penalty. But he made up for it later on by giving two penalties that should never have been penalties. And quickly focusing on Nathan Redmond. Nathan Redmond looked really good in this game. He's looked good in a lot of games, just hasn't had the end product. He hasn't been scoring. But Redmond looks like the player we thought he could potentially be when he was a youngster. He now has a manager that has some trust in him and is playing him regularly as a starter and as one of the main men up front. And Redmond is definitely repaying the Southampton manager with his current form. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the weekend recap. Make sure to answer the question of the day in the comments down below. I've been JNO, you've been awesome, and remember, it's all about the game.